Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 8th of April. I want to talk about, again, the idea that matter doesn't matter and the idea of the simulation theory, because we really need to get this straight. And our ancient teachings, especially the teaching in the New Testament, actually tell us, or trying to tell us, what is actually going on here. I've heard those that said matter does not matter is wrong, because they intuitively feel that matter matters, which it does. I show you that. But they're still not detaching from the simulation theory, which you absolutely must. We are in a simulation, but you are not the simulation. That's the thing. You are not the simulation. You are in a simulation, but you are not the simulation. You are reacting according to a simulation, but you are not it. You've forgotten your own truth. Because if you knew your own truth, you would see the simulation. I want to show you all of this. But first of all, let me talk about matter does not matter. Again, look at this pen. And you're describing the pen. What is the pen, apart from instrument that you can write with, obviously? You can describe the colors. It's black and see-through in parts. It's plastic, and this part is a bit rubbery. So plastic, rubber, what is that? Those are molecules of matter. So at some level, this pen is made out of molecules. Molecules are atoms that have come together, formed connections. So at some level, this thing is atoms. Atoms are made out of electrons, protons. I don't know what the going thinking is at the moment, but electrons most certainly. Okay, on some level, this thing is electrons. It's made out of electrons. Electrons are energy. So at some level, this pen is energy. Energy is vibrations. This pen is a vibration. And then I'm asking you, what is the truth of the pen? Are you saying it's not solid? You're experiencing the solidity of it, but you're denying that. Because you know that on some level this pen is vibration, but is that the pen's only truth? Do all the other levels not exist? The energy level, the electron level, the atom level, the molecule level, the solid level. Is it the case that you have to choose what level this pen actually is? Because only one level can be the truth. Or is the solid level the truth that contains all the other levels? And they're not separated from each other. There is no separation. Although going up from the vibrational state, the first truth that actually creates the solid object in the end, this is the fruit of the Spirit. The solid is the fruit of the vibrational. And they're not separated from each other. They contain each other. The solid contains all the other levels that came before it. It is the fruit, it is the outcome. That is in no way detached from the vibrational. It's not a choice. See, I think what happened is because for a long time we were told that reality is solid. So we made that association. Yeah, reality equals solid. And then when we found out that solid actually contains other things, other states of being, we just threw out the entire equation. Yeah? we said, well, when we said reality is solid, well, if the solid part is falling away, then the reality part is falling away. And that's not what should happen. If we expand our knowledge to come to a new equation, then it should have said reality is not just solid. It's still real. It's just not just solid. It exists in several forms. Reality is more than one thing. It's more than solid. So there we would have had an expansion of knowledge. The expansion that knowledge contains several, solid contains several different things. That would have been an expansion. But again, expansion is if you add something to it. That is an expansion. But if you add, let's say, just the vibrational state, but you take everything else away as not being real, you have not expanded. You have changed from one state into another, but you have not expanded. Because you have added and you've taken away. And you're still in one narrow band of what it is you know, and not the fullness. So really, expansion of knowledge means adding to it. And then you must say reality is not just solid. Solid contains various states of being. And that is exactly what they try to tell you in the New Testament. And also that there is no separation. The higher and the lower are one. They are part of the same thing. And then, yes, matter absolutely matters. You cannot say spirit matters and matter does not, because they are one. They are part of the same thing. And then again, what the New Testament clearly showed you, or tried to show you in the miracles, is that one affects the other. Or that you can affect changes on any level of on which this thing exists. Now, if I break the pen, means that both cause and effect will be in the material. Because I'm using my material hands to create a force to break the pen. But what the New Testament is saying is that the cause does not have to be in the material, but that it can be in the spiritual, on the level of vibration. You can create a change on the level of vibration or energy. I don't know what level they were on actually, but not the solid level. And because they are one, the change that is created on a different level will show itself as a material change instantly. That's a miracle. And again, a miracle is that which you do not know, which you do not understand. Anything can be explained. Nothing happens that cannot be explained. It is a state of knowledge that you can explain these things. And that is really, again, the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. But then be very careful, because it also goes as below, so above. And here is, again, another lie. And that's, again, the lie of separation from of the spiritual from the material, and that it doesn't matter what happens in the material. We already know that is not true. And a material illness can cause an effect in the state of your mood. You know, it can cause depression, which is not on the material level. So again, the material change can cause changes on the other levels. Again, because they are not separated. And therefore matter absolutely matters. It is this teaching of you can do whatever in this world, because this world is detached from everything, and it will have no effect on your eternal soul. Your soul is eternal and it cannot be touched by anything material. And to my mind, that is a false teaching. And it's not the knowledge that was in this world when the Hermetics said as below, so above. The effect will reverberate again to the higher levels, what you call the higher levels. It's actually not up or down, it's just parts of the same thing. But again, we are being driven into this idea that what we do in the material does not matter to our eternal soul. Why are we being driven into that? So we don't care what happens in the material. Or you can do whatever. Your soul is eternal, it's a fluttering being of light and energy, and what happens in the material does not affect the energy. I mean, in case of illness, we already know one level where the material does affect the spiritual. And then really, how far up can that go? Are you distorting through material means your energetic being? Again, no separation. Then be very careful of what it is you're doing. Still, people on an intuitive level already, I see those that are changing and are saying matter does matter, and absolutely does. But they're still holding on to the simulation theory. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Only that maybe they said matter matters on an intuitive level without actually having understood the truth, why it matters. So I googled simulation, and a simulation is an representation of a real-world process, system, or event used to analyze behavior, train individuals, or test scenarios without risk. I thought that's good. So, an imaginative representation of a real-world process. And here is, you are in a simulation, but you are not the simulation. Or you shouldn't be the simulation. You are truth. This is truth. The natural world around you is truth. It's consciousness. It exists on several levels, not just the material. All the levels are one. The material is only the outcome. That does not exist independent of what came before. So the simulation that you are in is a simulated reality. It is what they are telling you you are in, basically. Yeah? The stories they tell you of what is real, of what is happening around you, which might not be happening or not happening in that way. That is the simulation you are in. But you are truth. You are not the simulation. And why do they simulate things? First of all, analyze behavior. And that's what they've done for a long, long time. Again, psychology. We find knowledge. And we find it usually for good reasons, like with the intention to heal. Psychology was invented, or that knowledge was found in order to heal. You can use the same knowledge you can weaponize it. You can weaponize psychology, and that's what they always do. They weaponize whatever we find for good. They are weaponizing it and turning it into the other to serve themselves. And that's what they've done with psychology. So they've analyzed us. They've analyzed our behavior. They have found out how we react to certain things out of our truth. That is our truth, or should be our truth. And they're using that knowledge to train us, to become something that will serve them. And that's the simulation you're in. That is the AI-generated reality. Nothing to do with chips in your brain. It's already happening. It's the information that you are taking in, and out of that you're forming the idea of the reality that you're in through the information that is coming from the internet. This is already an AI-generated, or to a large extent becoming an AI-generated reality. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. It's already here. They're already doing it. So, to train, analyze behavior, train individuals, that is exactly what they're doing. They're training us like circus animals. And to test scenarios without risk. So we believe that we are in a certain situation, and we're acting according to it, to what we believe, not according to the input of our own five senses or our own emotional knowing. We've suppressed that. Don't go by your own knowing. Yeah? Be bombarded by that other knowing of what is going on and act according to that. Make that your reality. You're making the simulation your reality. And then act according to that. So they are creating scenarios without risk. And here's the thing, without risk. That does not mean without risk to ourselves, to us that are acting in those scenarios. There's absolutely a risk to us, risk to our health, risk to our lives. And as I said, if what is happening in the material vibrates higher than that, then we're risking our souls. Yeah, the soul is eternal. No, Jesus didn't actually say that. He said, beware of those that kill the soul in hell. That's what he said. So not without risk to us, but they're testing scenarios without risk for themselves, because they are just creating those scenarios and then they're standing back. They are not involved. I don't think on any level, again, we're saying they're psychopaths. They are actually emotionally and any other way detached from what is happening. They're creating the scenarios, but they are completely detached from those scenarios. That means at no risk to themselves. It will have no effect on them. Or so they think. It does have an effect on them, because they are detaching from the web of life by being psychopathic. And that will have an effect on them in the end, I would say, I hope. So, you are in a simulation, but you are not the simulation. We are not the simulation. Matter is not the simulation. Life is not the simulation. Life is truth. Life is who we are. So the truth is the real connections that are created by life, where you know good and bad according to the connections that you have with that is around you. That is truth. That is your truth. Yeah? And if you're not denying that truth, but you're standing in that truth, then you can tell truth from the simulation. That is to say, they are telling you something is good or something is bad, or there's something you have to do. As long as you know your own truth, you can tell the difference. But as I said, we are being led to completely dismiss ourselves on every level. Yeah, and we're being told it has got no effect on us, because this is just a simulation. And that is not truth. I don't think it is truth. I really think we're risking our souls doing what we're doing here. And by not trusting our own knowledge. So, so I said these words are in this world, but we're being forever led to the wrong interpretation of the words. I think the truth is in the world, in this world, and it may have even come out of us. I mean, who came up with the idea of simulation? Yeah, who came up with the idea of higher vibrations? It came out of a truth, but the meaning of that truth is then being distorted, again, in a way that serves them. Yeah? And this is the last thing I wanted to talk about that today, but I haven't got it quite together again. Only to say, there's another truth in this world. And that is, we must raise our vibration. Yeah? Everybody's running around. We must get out of the simulation. We must raise our vibration. And they're again going to higher states of emotion, like love or something like that, higher vibrational state of emotion. And that's not what raising your vibration actually means. Emotions are your guides. I don't want to go into that in detail now. They do not actually create this reality. They're only showing you what it is you're in, and you should listen to them. What raising your vibration, to my mind, actually means raising it, strengthening it, make it bigger. Expand your vibration, strengthen your vibration. That is not going up, that's going outward. Raising your vibration outward by strengthening it to make it go further. That is the true meaning of raising your vibration, not up and down in frequencies. Raise it by make it bigger. Raise it from inside of yourself to outside of yourself. But I want to talk about that in the next video. Again, we must understand the truth of what it is we are, what it is we're in. Matter matters, absolutely it matters. It is not separated from any spiritual levels. And yeah, the simulation is something you are in, is something that they are creating, but you are not the simulation. And the only way you can get out of the simulation is by seeing your own truth, understanding your own truth, understanding yourself, and then you can see the difference between the truth, which is within you, and the simulation that is outside of you. But to say you are the simulation, then you're again being put on the completely wrong path, away from your own truth, away from knowing yourself. And they keep doing that. Yeah, I really think truth is coming into this world. Truth is coming out of us. We're speaking it. And if something like simulation theory comes up, we are repeating it because we resonate with that thought. But we do not quite understand yet what the simulation is, and that there is actually a reality here. That there is a reality here. And to see the difference. But we are just taking the first intuitive, resonating with the word simulation, the first intuitive agreement, and then we just keep running with it without going deeper into the word and say what it actually means. Where is it? What is it doing? And that's what we must do. We must go deeper into the meaning of words, what they actually contain. And not just run with the first gut instinct. Then you're going without reason. Your head is not involved, and it should be involved. It was given to you for a reason. It has a function. Use it. Anyway, folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.